welcome to my channel, Little Red Sunshine. Today I am going to be talking about how I broke my daughter's leg at 7 months. Yep, you read that title right. And it was all my fault. And I'm just going to go ahead and get into the story. So, it was a week after Mother's Day. We had a church event we were heading to. I was wrapping up a phone call with my mother. I handed the phone to my husband. He was talking to my mom. I took the first step to walk down the stairs. I completely missed it. I'm too big to actually fall down the stairs. So we plopped on the third step. So missed the first, plopped on the third. When I realized that I was falling, I had my daughter on this side, so I held her, grabbed onto the rail, and we plopped. When we plopped, my daughter's leg was wrapped around me, and I think I landed on it. So during that period of time, all I could think was, wow, my worst nightmare is coming true. I am so fearful of falling down the stairs. I fell down the stairs when I was pregnant. I plopped, actually. And I was so fearful of falling down the stairs with my child, and it happened. So I was terrified. My daughter, when we fell, immediately cried. So I didn't know I fell on her because it happened really quickly. So I nursed her. Usually nursing her, if she falls when she's standing or when she crawls too fast, that usually works. So it worked, but every time I moved to adjust her, she would cry. And I'm not talking about a whimper or a cry. I'm talking about full out bloody murder. So before I did anything, I called one of our sisters from church who is a pediatrician and asked her what I should do. She asked me what happened, was she crying, and was I okay? So I told her what happened, and she suggested to me that we go to the emergency room. If everything is okay, no harm, no foul, but it's better to be safe than sorry. To not take her can make her worse. Full people ahead of us. They were fairly quick considering. They bring us into this check-in room and they ask us questions. How did it happen? Are we okay? Do we think that, she did break anything or she got a concussion? Anything like that. So, like I said, every time I moved my daughter, she would scream bloody murder. So we knew something was wrong with her. Also, when we got to the hospital, I realized that on her forehead right here, she had carpet burn. But in regards to her pain, they didn't know if she had broken anything, if she got any concussions, if anything internally had, burst open or anything like that. So they had to take her to x-rays. So while we were in the x-rays, that's when I felt the worst because I felt my child's pain. She was screaming because we had to get her in an uncomfortable position to take the x-rays. And unfortunately, because she kept moving, they didn't get a clear picture the first time on some of them, so they had to do it twice. So they got the x-rays, and literally I'm just tearing up. Tears are just flowing. So after they get the x-rays, they take us to her room. And while we're there, the nurse comes in and she says, "Hi, I'm such and such. I'll be taking care of you guys. If you need anything, let me know. What exactly happened?" And she looks at me with like so much sympathy and empathy and was like, "This happens all the time. I know you feel terrible, but she's not gonna remember this. You are a good mom. You're okay." I'm terrible. I'm the reason why she's here right now. And I feel bad because, like I said, every time we move, she's crying. So off and on, she's crying. She's trying. It's late at this point. It's about 9 o'clock. So she's tired. So she's trying to fall asleep, but she's not comfortable. So they eventually come in and the doctor sits down. She introduces herself and she says, "Hey, we see a fracture in her left leg. So we're gonna go ahead and put a splint on that. We see something in her arm, but we don't want to put her through x-rays anymore. It's not healthy for her at that age. So we're gonna go ahead and put a splint on that just in case as well." and then we're gonna have you follow up with an orthopedic doctor and see what they say. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and splint her up. We're gonna go ahead and prescribe her some Motrin, so that way it could be a pain reliever for her, and then you guys can go on home. So as soon as she said my daughter is broken, I cried. I tried so hard to contain it. I just felt so low. I felt like a really terrible mom. So the guy comes in to put a splint on my daughter, and he made me feel terrible. Not on purpose, he didn't know it, but he goes, this is the smallest splint I've ever done. I don't even think I have a small enough one for her. That's not what you say to a mom. No.
What's that in your hand, bro? What's that in your hand? Yeah, what is that?
So he splints her up, and then he wishes us well. And then later on, they come, they check us out. So we go home, and it was the worst night of sleep for my baby, because literally one side of her is just all casted up, and she likes to roll on her side to sleep, and she couldn't. So basically, she slept every couple of hours and then woke up in pain. So I would have to nurse her. If it was time for her to have some medicine, I'd give her some medicine, rock her to sleep. So that's what we did that night. We couldn't get an appointment with the orthopedic the next day. So we ended up, at first I got an appointment with the orthopedic through the hospital, but her pediatrician was able to get us one through our actual healthcare system way quicker. So we ended up going with them. We went in 2 days later after this happened, and as I walk in, the orthopedic doctor sits us down, and then he's like unwrapping her splint as he's talking to us, asking us questions, things of that nature. And as he's unwrapping, I'm like, okay, maybe he's gonna be doing some testing, maybe he's gonna rewrap it, I don't know. So that's what I'm thinking. He throws the splint in the trash. So I'm sitting there like, okay. He's like, yeah, she doesn't need that. She's gonna heal in 3 to 4 weeks. Babies under 2 heal really quickly. We don't like to splint them because it contains them and it can affect their bone growth. So she'll be fine, she'll be in pain, give her the Motrin, and then in no time she'll be okay. And I'm like, and immediately as he's taking this off, she's crying. So I'm like, but she's still in pain. He's like, yeah, her bones are swollen. That's what happens when you fall. No big deal. I didn't have a problem with what he was saying. It was how he was saying it. It was like so nonchalant. The doctor was right, y'all. The doctor was right. Literally, when we got home, my daughter starts standing up and crawling and doing everything that she used to do. Now, she didn't do it the same way. The fractured leg and arm, she was a little bit cautious about standing on, so she didn't stand on it, she didn't crawl on it, so she was one-sided crawling and standing and lifting herself up. But she was the silly, goofy, active, sweet girl that she was prior to this. Stinky, what you doing? So the reason why I want to share this story is not to get mom shamed, because I know somebody is gonna say something. Please don't. I already feel bad enough as it is. My daughter will be 25 years old and I still feel bad for breaking her. However, as moms, we make mistakes. It is okay. And sometimes we make mistakes that affect our children. And it's not on purpose. It was an accident. That does not make you a bad mom. That does not mean that your child is loved any less, or that, you know, you're a terrible person. Things happen. Like I said, I'm clumsy. I fall all the time. I have random bruises on my body. It happens. But the one thing that I learned from this experience is that God blessed me with my daughter for a reason. And I think it was to show me true love besides my husband and my family, but also to show me unconditional love to a level that I've never felt before. My daughter looks at me as if I am the most perfect person in the world and I could do no wrong. Even when I have a bad day, her smile brightens my day, no matter what happened. Love us. And they forgive us more quickly than we forgive other people or even them. So moms, you're strong, you're tough, you are wanted, you are needed, and keep pushing because our kids rely on us. So that is it for my story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have ever dropped your kid or broken your kid, feel free to comment below, share your story. If you have any questions about mine, also comment below. Thank you so much for subscribing and for liking my channel. Feel free to like this video and give it a thumbs up. I'll see you next time.